So who is Eli? This is the premise of the movie. Now, every movie has a premise. When people go to Hollywood to sell a script or sell a movie, you know, they what do they call it? They spin it for them or something. They lay it out, pitch it. They pitch it to them. And this is the fundamental premise. When you take premises of this movie, when you'll read different, they'll be worded a little bit differently every time you read if you take the time to look at it. But this is the essence of it. A spiritual man walks and fights his way across a wasteland to realize his destiny and to deliver the knowledge in a book that holds the secrets to saving humankind and bringing civilization back. I mean, you know, Christian will say Bible. Muslim going to say Quran right off the top, right? When you look at that, when you look at his environment, and now look at his dress, and his capacity for survival in a desolate wilderness in a desert, it clearly points to Arab populations and other religionists who use violent tactics in the name of their duty to God. I mean, didn't it strike you that he had this Palestinian scarf on? He's walking through the desert, and then when he came up to the car and they had that profile, do not think that a frame is wasted. When people make movies, when a frame, especially if they take a couple of seconds on the frame, this was a serious piece right here. So so when you see the skeleton in the car, and you see him stop outside the car, and so it's framing him that way. So he got this profile. He got this profile looking at, trying to decide, am I going to go over here to this car and see what's in there, right? While you're looking at that profile, that man ain't nothing but a Muslim. He kufied, he got the Palestinian, I don't know what you call that, whatever that is, whatever that scarf is, and he army jacket down. He's straight mujahideen. Established film grammar, okay? So, films are language puzzles. That's one thing. Stories are dramatic code. It's another thing. Films have a grammar. So language is saturated just in the whole medium itself, right? And Marshall McLuhan is famous for having said, the medium is the message. The medium is the message. So the very medium that you're using is a part of the message that you're communicating. And this is precisely what is happening inside the film and what is happening with the film itself. The actual medium, the process, the art itself as well. So what drives the plot is the conflict between both the hero and the opponent, their mutual strengths and weaknesses, their inner convictions that are mutually contradictory. This is what makes the story a story. That's what makes it interesting. So the shadow side of Eli is seen in the fact that he is as driven and as tyrannical as Carnegie is relative to his sense of mission and purpose. He is just as dedicated to his mission and purpose as Carnegie is dedicated to his mission and purpose, but those purposes are at cross purposes. They're at odds with each other, right? But that's what makes the plot. That's what gives you the action. So you can reference many of the scenes when he was absolutely, positively compulsive. Anybody try to touch that book besides him? You know, you remember that scene? He was asleep. He appeared to be asleep. And she went to reach for that book. What you doing? Oh, you were asleep. I wasn't asleep. Shut up. And put on that and just had this menacing eye look at it. You touch this book, you dead. Right? That's his attitude, right? Well, using threats or being willing to kill somebody to get one's way is what Eli and Carnegie both do. So as a psychodrama, the dark side of Eli is Carnegie. On inside a person, but it's being played out in a story world. Okay? So let me draw this right here so that you can get right away some of what's happening here. What we got? Cloud, right? Cloud with sun, right? All right. Here's Claudia. Claudia is cloudier but she really represents clouds. She represents cloud. Here's Solara, she's the sun. Solar, and she's protecting her, right? Her mother is protecting her, right? But then it also points out to you, you can move quickly to recognize that that Solara's character is not a feminine person per se. Right? When you say something has been staged, what does that mean? You say something's been staged, this means it's false. Oh man, that was staged. Well, if it was staged, it didn't happen. And what happens in the theater? Plays. So, but in large, the Orpheum, which is the place where Carnegie has his shop set up, that's Carnegie's house. That's his base of operation, the Orpheum, right? So we say it's corporate media, corporate religion, the religion of the corporation as well. And of course his name being Carnegie. But it was also, what was also brought to our attention, Carnegie Hall. Khalid brought that out, Carnegie Hall. So why wouldn't the Orpheum, it's a theater, why wouldn't the Orpheum be Carnegie Hall? That underscores and emphasizes the idea that it is theater. Who started a fight in the bar? We mentioned that yesterday. Who started a fight in the bar? Marx. That was the guy's name. Where is he at? He's in Carnegie's house. Marxists, socialists, communists, how do they feel about religion? Religion is the opiate of the people, right? How does Carnegie feel about the religion? It is a weapon. The Bible is a weapon aimed directly at the hearts and minds of the weak and the desperate, right? Oh yeah, and you remember what we say about the book? The fact that the book would serve anybody, whoever is in control of it, in the nature of the movie, who's ever in control. What did that say? That the book was what? The book was a weapon, but we're staying with the name, the title itself. You remember we talked about the pendulum? Yeah, the book of dog. It's not the book of God, it's the book of dog. It depends on who's got it. So Eli, talking about character web, remember, Eli is a Mason walking. And what is he walking by? Faith. But what faith? Faith in Freemasonry. Eli is the Hiram Abiff of Freemasonry, faithful to the death to the secret Masonic word. When he went to the White House, what happened? George and Martha's house. What happened to him? They pushed the bell, they rung the bell, tried to handle it, and what happened? And dropped down. In what? A grave? Well, how'd they get out? The lion's grip. Raised from a dead level. They're in a grave. Huh? They stood him up out of that. It's all Masonic. Now, one of the roles that a character plays in a movie, they also provide a sounding board. So Solara, in the role and situation that she's in, she actually provides a sounding board for Eli to tell more of the things that the writers want to tell. So they put it in the dialogue, have her to ask him a question, and then that question reveals something that the writers want the audience to know. So Solara asked Eli, she said, Eli, or she's saying to him, she said, what do you mean, or pardon me, what did you mean when you said it's not just a book? Now remember how both Carnegie and Eli, they have the same kind of dialogue that they said. It's not just a book. Carnegie has his line, right? And now he has said to her, it's not just a book. And now she's asking him, what do you mean when you say it's not just a book? We know what Carnegie means when he says it's not just a book, but what do you mean when it says it's not just a book? And so he says, I mean it's the last of its kind. Should be pretty simple from there. If it's the last of its kind, what is it? Somebody prove me right. Yeah, it's the last revelation. It's the last word of God on the planet. Is that not what the Quran is?